So what we were saying, this is Linda Mutch, and I'm here with Dennie Briggs, and we are capturing a conversation about the dream state, channeling, reincarnation, and essentially what I call a spiritual conversation. We were saying that Dennie's brother Bob, whom he dreamt about when he was alive, has recently passed over, as we say. And after he died, Dennie did not dream about him for a month. But now, since that time, which has been 3 months about, he's again dreaming about his brother Bob. And what prompted this initial conversation was that Dennie was dreaming about his longtime departed partner, John. And I was saying that John and Bob had their own communications going at the same time, and Bob wrote John many letters about his intentions about reincarnation. John kept those letters, and Bob had shared with him, as with Dennie, that he planned to be reincarnated and live the next life, and of course we all assume he meant a better one, or a different one. And Dennie is at this point excitedly kind of waiting to see if there's a contact of some type, but we're already establishing that it's happened in the dream state. And Dennie said that when he first started dreaming about his brother, the difference between now and when he was alive is he's actually having pictures and dreams of his brother when he was much younger, and they bounce back and forth to being a young child and a young adult, and that's the sense of the dreams he's having with his brother. Dennie has also had many hundreds, over 600 to 1,000 dreams of his departed partner, upon which he receives guided information and directions and instructions in the sense, to the extent that they are both co-writing material together, co-writing articles and working on a book. And this has been an intrigue of mine, because I no longer feel the need to try and channel John to Dennie, because Dennie is, in essence, in my opinion, certainly receiving information very different than what one usually has occur in the dream state. So we're exploring what this new venue is, whether it is a possibility that channeling is taking place from a departed person, or, as some psychologists might say, Dennie is keeping the memory of his departed person, whom he loved very dearly, alive, and therefore is enjoying what, Dennie? Some ability in his subconscious to keep John alive? Is that, I'm not saying that very fair.
That's a possibility. What I'm thinking about most recently is that is it possible that through the dream state you can communicate with another person's unconscious, whether they're alive or dead, doesn't matter. Well, it matters, but I mean, it's the same process.
Yes, so what you're saying is you're viewing this as the possibility of, in the dream state, communicating with John's subconscious, and further, that it wouldn't necessarily matter if a person was alive or deceased. So the question is, can we, in the dream state itself, tap into the unconscious of other beings?
Right. And would that be called channeling?
And would that therefore be called channeling?
Right.
Or is it a different thing?
Right.
Is it a different, what I call a different dimension of communication?
Right.
And pulling in some information that I have, there's been discussed of late the multidimensionalism, that the string theory and the idea that spiritually we're on the third dimension, and Native Americans have discussed that during the year prior to 2012, our vibrational energy would move us to the fourth dimension. And there's an issue of multi-dimensions, which means you possibly could tap into someone's subconscious, either in the wake state or sleep state. Right now, what we're experiencing and what you're sharing with me, Dennie, is that you think possibly when you go to sleep, you are able to connect with John on some level. And you're not just having a dream, but you're getting information from him. And you're also giving him information. I mean, he also could be taking the information from you and working on it. And he, as you've said before, he, at some dreams, he'll pick right up and make a suggestion of which direction to go in your writing. Does he get as specific as giving you words to include? Or phrases?
Yes, sometimes I can see a whole paragraph.
Oh my
That he's
goodness.
done, but I can't remember it.
Right.
But it's there.
Right.
And it's clear, and
Right.
and I agree with it or disagree.
So you're
with
looking
it,
on a page?
I can't
Recall.
recall.
So the information Dennie's getting from John is so specific in the dream state that he can see a whole paragraph of written information from John,
Right.
adding to an article or adding to the information that Dennie's working on.
Right.
So in our mundane here now body understanding of how we work as human beings, they are co-writing together, even though John is no longer in this planet. So Dennie's thinking perhaps this new communication style is in the dream state in which they share information. And the challenge then is for Dennie to remember when he's in the wake stage what the suggestions were and what the paragraph was, and how to integrate that in his material. And so we're bringing Bob to the picture now. Has Bob given you any specific? No.
He edited everything I wrote, so I'm expecting that.
Bob's role was to edit what Dennie had written. So Dennie is somehow expecting, I don't know how that's going to come about, Bob to continue to edit. So perhaps if you keep in tune to our next YouTube, you'll learn that this has indeed happened. That Bob has found a way to edit Dennie's work and tell him this in the dream state. Wouldn't that be wonderful? So a question I have for you out there is to pose the idea or to solicit information of how many of you have had a similar experience. Are there others out there who, one, remember their dreams and acknowledge that they dream, and two, have received any information or have an ongoing relationship with a dearly departed person in their family or in their environment? I have not had that experience, although if I go back and look in my dream journals, I may find I remember a couple of times getting instructions from someone, but I didn't connect it, and I'm remembering it now till when I started this discussion with Dennie. So there may be many of you out there who've had dreams where you specifically get information from a departed one, and or channel in some manner and receive it in your meditation state. This is also a state that Dennie experiences. He gets quiet, and there is a time space, isn't that correct? There's a space of quietness where you know you're not sleeping, but you're also in that place where John can come in, and like you said, it's like being there and not being there. So is this the new age? Is this the new wave of communicating with departed persons? Thank you very much. Now, you all have a nice day, and feel free to respond.